Testing. Hello. Hello. Why can't you hear me? Because I muted Chrome. Yes. Okay. Let's see. We've got our spreadsheet here. Oh, I'm so happy with this. Let's get that there. I'm now on my YouTube channel. Wait. Okay. Live now. Gonna do your team. Okay, so let's just show you guys Mafan's team. So he has got Pickford, he has got Livramento, Van de Ven, Wan-Bissaka. Cool. If I make this shrink, that gets bigger. Nice. Pickford, Livramento, Van de Ven, Wan-Bissaka. Can I crop this? Okay, that's better. Let's put them in. So this is for game week 4. Pickford, Livramento, Van de Ven, Wan-Bissaka. Oh no, we need it in order. So Sanchez, Livramento, Van de Ven, Wan-Bissaka, Konza, Milenkovic, Salah, Star, Reindeers, Ramsey. What's he got Ramsey doing in there? Belieber. Watkins, does he have Watkins? No, he's got Bowen. João Pedro. And he's got Beto. So this is Mathan's team, and what we can do here is get the line up. So let's see. And we need to copy this from above. So that goes into there. And it should automatically sort into his best team. Does that look right? I think it does. So for game week 4, my fun, you've got Pickford ahead of Sanchez. Pickford as Villa, Sanchez as Brentford. So this is because Pickford got more points than Sanchez last season. Now I need to have my ham sandwich. We're benching Rangers, Beto, and Ramsey. What has he benched? He's benched Konza, Milenkovic, and Belieber. He said he's got like 8 million in the bank. Why is Belieber? Something's up with Belieber here. One. Pickford. It's right there. Ah. So that needs to be 38, 39. And that needs to be all the way across here. These next 5s, not quite right. Or is it? No, they're not right. Okay. I mean, we're always going to be benching Rangers, Believer, and Beto. I mean, you could bench Van de Ven. So we will send this to Mafan. So here's your team, Mafan. Thanks for sending that in. And we'll look on Twitter for the next one. Okay. Let's also have a look what else we can do with my fan. Followers team sheet. So let's put my fan's players in here. These PPs are for this player. So overall, Pickford is better than Sanchez in the next 5 weeks. Wan-Bissaka is quite good. Milenkovic is high. Konza, Livramento, Van de Ven is rated low, but that's because of last season. I do still like Tottenham, even though they will probably do better than last year. That's why I like them. Salah is rated very highly. I mean, next 2 fixtures are so good for Salah. Surely everyone's going to captain Salah. His EO is going to be like 200%. I wouldn't really like to go against him. You could go like Etikike. People going Isaac. What do you think of Isaac? No. Too early for Isaac for me. People want to get in there early for price rises, but no. Matthew Hannon says Adam Wharton is on his Eurostar. Where's Adam Wharton going? Adam Wharton's in the England squad, surely. Or is he? Is he injured? I think he's injured. No, he's still in there. I think he's injured though. England game tomorrow, Andorra. What about Sweden? Is Isak in the team? Oh, the lineups are out. Gyökeres starts. Elanga starts. Goodmanson from Leeds, who's the 9-point machine. Sweden lineup. What do you guys use for your lineup checkers? I started using FootMob. Do we have today's games? Yes, we do. Preview. Here we go. Bench. Thank you. This is what we want. Is Isaac on the bench? Yes, he is on the bench. So Isaac is on the bench. We'll see how many minutes he gets. Probably he'll come on like after 60 minutes. Get half an hour. If he gets like only 80 minutes, that's not a good sign. I know people have brought him in on a free hit, and now they've got four Liverpool players. But I just don't think it's a good idea. They can't even like transfer anything out. Not good. Let's see what YouTube's saying. The Twitter. Devour YouTube, good idea. Thank you, Greek God. Okay, so we've got this team coming from Sean Robinson. So we're going to do your team, Sean. So Sean has got hard to see. For Bruggen, let's share this tab and input Sean's. So we've got the Bruggen, and we've got Kelleher. I mean, I don't think Brighton have the best of fixtures. Brentford, they've also just had Sunderland fixture, which was quite nice, but that's done now. Kirkes, Nori, Saliba, who's injured, unfortunate for you. But Price, PM Sar, Semenyo. Armour is also injured. João Pedro, Gyökeres. And finally, he has FKTK, who I also need to copy across. Okay. It's quite hard to use this when the teams don't have a data last year. We're going to have to change the formula. If it's an error, then use this season's one. That's it. So instead of 0, we'll do that. What does that do to Etikike? Is 5 at the back the new meta, says Luigi Titanico. I've just done a thread on this. I think it is. So basically, here's a few things to help me answer that question. Welcome to the chat, Luigi Titanico. Thank you for the question. So if we look at last year's players, you can see who had the most points per game out of midfielders and defenders. And if you look here, the green ones are midfielders. These are all under 6.5s. And a lot of the players that have high points per game are the defenders. So these defenders will get you on average 4 points every game. And that is mainly because quite a lot of these are defenders with defcons. They're quite likely to get you quite a lot of defcons per game. So C-bits per game, you get like an extra 1 point, half a point for some of these players. That's like averaging every single game. They will just get an extra point more than they did last year for doing nothing. So in this calculation, I've added C-bit points plus C-bit points, which they got last year, plus the C-bit points they would have got. So this kind of shows why defenders have C-bit points. You're looking to free hit 6 and wildcard 8. So free hit 6 is quite a good strategy, I think. Not too sure about the wildcard 8, and I could try and convince you not to wildcard an 8 as well, depending on your team, of course. So another chart that I like to answer your question is 5 at the back, the new meta, is one of these that I've tweeted out. Okay, so this chart here. You can't see this chart. Okay, so here's the chart. So if you look here, and if I can zoom in on it so you can all see it. This chart, have you seen this chart, Luigi Tanico? This one shows us the average points in game week 1 to 3 for every player in every price point. So a few things to know. I rounded it up to, you can see, okay, cool. So I rounded it up to the nearest 0.5. So if people have had a price rise, they'll like round up to their nearest 0.5. So people like Semenyo, if they've had like 2-3 price rises, they'll go up to the next category. And if you look at these price points, so what's really interesting, look at these defenders. Let's just look at 5 versus 5.5. 5s have got 3.9 on average. 5.5 have 3.6. So this is only from game week 1 to 3. So the 5 million defenders are outscoring the 5.5 on average. So why would you waste your money getting 5.5 defenders when some of these 5 million defenders are doing a great job? Now, is it worth getting in your team and starting a 5 million defender over a 4.5 defender? Well, on average, if you spend that 0.5 million pounds, you will get 0.1 extra points. Sorry, 1.1 extra points for every game. That's quite a lot of points per game. Now, to answer your question, is 5 at the back the new meta? If you look at your midfielders, say you've got on your bench a 4.5 midfielder, a 4.5 defender, or a 5.5 midfielder. You could have like Anderson or Caicedo or Sarr or Dewsbury Hall. And then you have a 4.5 defender on your bench. You might as well play that 4.5 defender because it's more likely that they're going to score more points than these 5 and 5.5 defenders. And you're going to get more points by 0.2, and you're going to spend less money on these defenders. And if you spend the same money on a 5.5 defender, you will score way more points because it's 1.1 more for 5.5 to 5 midfielder to defender. So when you build your team and next time you wildcard or next time you make a transfer, you could think, okay, am I going to have a 4.5 defender to sit on your bench and a 5.5 midfielder to play? Or you could have a 5.5 defender and a 4.5 mid, like Josh King, to sit on your bench. Then you're going to get all these extra points because they can get points from clean sheets. Defenders can get points from defenders, from clean sheets, from bonuses, from defcons, from playing their game. They could also score, and they also get more points for a goal, and they also get more points for an assist. You love attacking defenders. Who do you recommend? Maybe a 4-4-2 formation. Okay, so let's see some defender recommendations. So if we're looking at a short window, so you're saying 3 hits 6. So for game week 4, we can filter for defenders. And these are some defenders who did really well last year. And they've got good fixtures in game week 4. So Maxence Lacroix, he tops the chart. So he's only 5 million. So he's got a great fixture this week. Virgil is there, Munoz, Gahey, Shah. Shah is also on penalties. He could be on penalties at Newcastle. Gahey obviously is staying at Palace. Munoz, he does have a fixture in South America Wednesday just after midnight, and then he plays at Palace on Saturday at 3 p.m. So be careful of people coming back from international break because they might get rested. So even though Munoz is a great pick, and he's got Sunderland, next game Palace have got West Ham as well. I would be wary of the players on international duty, especially the ones playing on Wednesday, especially the ones playing late on Wednesday and in South America. You also got Burn Hall. So assuming these people all get 90 minutes, these are all good picks. But this is just a 1 week view. So 1 week view is kind of better for like a 3 hit week. So you say 3 hit 6. So if we change this number to a 6, you can see we've got the best players for game week 6. We just have to refresh the defenders. So defenders, you've got Tarkovsky in game week 6. You've got Forest, you've got Sunderland. So doubling up on defenders from Forest might be a good idea. Even though they've been performing badly, I think with better fixtures to come, Forest will do better. I'm not even sharing my screen, fucking up. Okay, so this is the tab here. So game week 4, this is where I was explaining about our defenders. So Lacroix, Virgil, Munoz, Gahey, Shah, Burn, Hall, Tarkovsky. Share your FPL ID. Also, you can send your team to me on Twitter, and I can do a deep dive via a screenshot on Twitter. So feel free to send me a screenshot of your team on Twitter, and I'll read it from there, and I can input it into all these charts. That's why we're here. So here we can see changes to a 6, 3 hit 6. You'll have the best players, defenders for a 3 hit, as long as we refresh this defender. Tarkovsky against West Ham, very good. You've also got Michael Keane for Everton. Both of them very good for DEFCON. Murillo, Milenkovic, they play Sunderland. Man City play Burnley. So Guardiola is a good idea, I think. You've got 8 Nori there as well now at Man City. See if he starts playing some games. Virgil's got Palace, but I would just target the green fixtures if I could. Pedro Porro, Tottenham v Wolves. Wolves have also not looked very much like scoring, so you've got your Tottenham defenders that you can go for. Romero, Van der Ven, Pedro Porro. Brentford, Man U, not too good. Brentford obviously is injured. Cucurella, you don't really get for DEFCONs, but you get for the attacking. As you saw, he scored an amazing goal for Spain the other day. Hamza, what's up? Hello, Hamza. Hope you're good, mate. Welcome to the chat. Make sure you drop your team in as well, and we can have a look at your team. Okay, there's your code. So let me get your code up. So this is for game week 6, but we don't just want to look at game week 6 because you want to get players in now. So if we go to this tab, we've got game week 4, and this shows you all the best options across the next 5 game weeks from game week 4. So Salah's obviously top. Haaland, Isak, if he plays, they've got good fixtures. He's got good underlying stats. Chris Wood, obviously Arsenal next and Newcastle, but those 2 games, Burnley, Sunderland, and his performance last year puts him very high on this list. And Buemo, Bowen, Palmer, Semenyo. So Bowen is quite high because of last year. Palmer is obviously out. but he's high. Semenyo is there as well. The fixtures is still quite good. Leeds away. I mean, it seemed quite tough to play Leeds away, but he seems all right. Watkins. I'm still on Watkins. I think the fixtures against Sunderland and Burnley are just too good. So I'm hoping they will come good. And then I will swap Watkins on. João Pedro, he's actually dropped because these fixtures are a bit harder than they were at the beginning. From game week 9, you can see João Pedro's fixtures really start to improve. So from 9, you are going to want Chelsea. But right now, I'm not too sure. Okay, so 3, 6, 1. I think this is your team here. So let me share my screen. 3, 6, 1, 2, 8, 1. I think this is your team, Luigi. Ouija. I guess that's you. Ouija Wani FC. So Kelleher, I like. Pedro Porro. Kelleher or Dubravka is quite cheap. You've gone cheap on the defenders, so that's okay. Brentford, they kind of had that easy game at Sunderland. You were hoping for a clean sheet, I bet, and Sunderland came out winning. So these new teams, Sunderland and Leeds, they're going to be quite tricky to play, especially when they are at home. The fixtures aren't too great. Dubravka actually just his next game is against Liverpool, and his team Slovenia, they just beat. They just won against in the internationals. Oh, they've got Sweden next. Is it Slovenia or Slovakia? Yeah, Slovakia, Germany. They just beat Germany, and Florian Wirtz was playing in this game, and I think he dropped another stinker. Here's Germany v Slovakia. Wirtz played, and Newcastle new signing Watermaid played. And they won 2-0. Slovakia beat Germany. So Dubravka has already beat Wirtz this week, and they're playing again this week. So if you dare to play Dubravka against Liverpool, they are at home. Burnley are at home. Who knows if Liverpool can be kept at bay, but probably you're going to start Kelleher. Defense, you've got Steve Dorgu, Pedro Porro, De Kuyper, Milenkovic. So I'm not sure if those players really have great fixtures, apart from Pedro Porro, which is great. Kudo's got another assist in international, which is nice, but he can't really score goals, it seems. So he's a great assist machine. Tottenham have great fixtures, so obviously keep Kudos. Bruno, he'll get you points. And Ndoye you've gone for, so I quite like Ndoye. That's a bit of a differential. Mafan, if you're in here, we did do your team. We can do it again. Ndoye, who knows how he will do, but they do have good fixtures. So I quite like that pick. It's a bit nice. And then I love your strikers. Watkins has got great fixtures. Wood's got great fixtures. João Pedro, he's just finished a fixture run, but you kind of need him. So overall, I think this is quite good. I'm surprised your rank is so low. It's probably the Forest defender here. Brentford haven't kept many clean sheets. I'm not sure about this. So are you thinking of making a transfer? What are your plans? So what we can do is input your team into our transfers team analysis here. And this will tell us how your guys are doing. So you've got Kelleher, Dubravka. It's my captaincy choices. I see. I'm playing 3 hit 6, wildcard 8. What's the best advice? So let's look at captains for the next few weeks. So if you want to get captains right, I mean, I'm guessing you're just going Salah. Salah here, Salah there, Salah against Palace, I'm not a big fan. You could go Wood against Sunderland. I'd probably go Wood that week. Obviously, shame you didn't captain Bruno this year. Fluke year. I wouldn't worry about this year's scores because the fixtures have been a bit difficult for the good teams. So this is why quite a lot of people are starting quite badly because you want the good players from the good teams, but the good teams, they don't have good fixtures. But as long as you keep holds, don't go crazy with your transfers, don't go crazy with your wild card because you don't really have problems. People have Palmer out, they've got Cunha out, they've got Sarr out. These are the people who need to wild card. Your team, you shouldn't really be thinking about wild card. The structure is quite good. Just try and pick up on who's got the bad season, who's got the bad fixtures, and who's good. For captain, you've got Bruno 7 as well. Game week 8 might be more of a problem for you. So who do you go in 8? Salah again against Man U? Not too sure. So tell me who you plan to captain in 8. Maybe... Yeah, I don't know. Not sure about 8. Number 9, you don't have Bone. You don't have Palmer. You've got 1 free transfer, 0.2 in the back, but you don't need any transfers, I don't think. Let's carry on filling your team in the team analysis. So Kelleher, Pedro Porro, De Kuiper. If you had to make a transfer, who would you want to take out? And I'll show you who my spreadsheet thinks you should take out. I actually really like your team, and I think you can make 1 transfer here and there, and you can stick with it. So who are you thinking about taking out? Because you want a wild card, but I quite like most of your players. You got Semenyo there. You benched Semenyo. Gosh. Okay, so let's go line by line. Kelleher, he is underperforming compared to last year. Obviously, last year at Liverpool. Now he's moved to Brentford. His fixtures also are 15, which means it's quite hard. Tottenham have got really good fixtures, 12. So Pedro Porro, you need to keep Pedro Porro in. He's still on free kicks. Yeah, he doesn't get DEFCONs, but he still does well. Then you've got De Kuiper. Again, he's kind of attacking. So you've gone for the attacking defenders. Pedro Porro's 5.6. De Kuiper's 4.5. De Kuiper's fixtures, I'm not really feeling these for the clean sheets. Bournemouth, Tottenham, Chelsea, Wolves, Newcastle. Not my favourite pick, De Kuiper, but he has been quite good for his country as well. So, no need to get rid of him. Let's sort by sell rating. So the higher the number, the more likely you should sell. Dubravka is just your bench warmer. Milenkovic is underperforming, but he's got Arsenal, then these two. So I would hold Milenkovic, even though the sell rating is high. You just keep him until 6, and then from 7, you go to an Arsenal defender. So lock that transfer in. Milenkovic to an Arsenal defender in 7, because their fixtures come really good in 7. Salah is playing badly, very badly compared to last year, but he was always going to perform badly because he did so well last year. His fixtures are quite good, 14, but the next 2 are good. Then you could think about moving him on to maybe Haaland in 6 and 7. So save your transfers to switch between Salah's amazing 2 fixtures here, and then you can start bringing in a Haaland team maybe or something else. So Salah doesn't go anywhere for now, so you don't need to welcome him. Bruno Fernandes, he's performing as expected. He's been a bit unlucky. He should have had some penalties. He did have the last minute penalty, but he missed one as well. That would have sent his points really much higher. But you got to hold on to him now until Sunderland, I think, because he's a good captaincy choice there. Kelleher, underperforming. It's 4.5 on a keeper. You haven't spent much on a keeper. But yeah, that's fine. He also doesn't really rotate well with Dubravka. So next time you do wildcard, look for like whose fixtures pairs well with each other. Because here you've got Leeds and West Ham, and you kind of want to play like you'd rather it was a bad fixture when they have a good fixture. So if they had a good fixture in 7, you could play Dubravka, but obviously they don't seem to rotate well. Dorgu is performing exactly the same as last year. Obviously, he got benched for Ahmad as well. I'm not too sure that's a great pick either. So 4.5 defenders on your team. Him and De Kuyper, I'm not too happy with. Obviously, De Kuyper didn't have any stats last year. He's only performing at 1.3 points per game, which is worse than Dorgu. Both of their fixtures are also not great. Dorgu's got Sunderland to look forward to, but he might not play. De Kuyper's got, these don't look good. Watkins, just hold Watkins until Burnley, even though he's underperforming. These fixtures are so good. Chris Wood, he is performing as expected. He does what he does. He gets his goal, job done. He's got 2 great fixtures coming up in the next 3 weeks. Hold him. Estev, bench fodder, leave him there. You could bring him in for Leeds. Not much to say there. João Pedro, he's very much overperforming, but are his fixtures turning for the worse now? So he's got Brentford away, Man U away, Brighton at home, Liverpool at home, Forest away. These fixtures are not so good anymore. But after that, game week 9, they go good. So if you're going to hold him for this row, you're going to hold him until game week 9. Otherwise, you could think about getting another forward in, I think. But with that overperformance, he's going to be hard to sell. Hello, Andika. Welcome to the chat. Hamza, I wildcard in game week 3 and I will bench boost. I wildcard because of JSL, Palmer, Mateus. That's so unlucky. You had so many injuries. I think you needed to wildcard there, Hamza. Hope it's going well. Semenyo has good fixtures. That is green 14. You got the nice fixture there. And that Kudos. Kudos, I love. Great fixtures. Pedro Porro performing well. Great fixtures. They are going to continue to do well for you. So they're not going anywhere. And Doi, 5.7 average. Is that how many points he's got per game? That's very good for Ndoye. So his fixtures are good, as we said here. So he's fine. So the only 2 transfers I recommend for game week 4 would be your 4.5 million defenders, Dorgu and De Kuyper. And you said you got 0.2 in the bank. So you can't really go anywhere. So let's type in here. So for game week 4, we've got De Kuyper. Let's type in De Kuyper first, and these are my transfer recommendations. So over the next few weeks, De Kuyper's predicted 0.7, which we know isn't too accurate because he didn't have any games last year. But if he continues as he is now at 1.3, that's not too far off the 0.7. So imagine this is 1.3 points per game. You can get someone like Gahey, who's predicted to average some really good games here. 5.28 against West Ham and Sunderland. So De Kuyper to Gahey, you would save 21 points over the next 5 game weeks. I think this is something definitely to consider, especially with Palace's next 2 fixtures being so nice. You've also got Konza. If you think Villa can keep a clean sheet, Everton, Sunderland, even Fulham, Burnley, that could easily be 4 clean sheets. Could be none because, there's some madness going on in Aston Villa. But I like Villa defenders. You've got Dean as well. Konza, if he's back from his red card, I'll go for him. You've got Wan-Bissaka and Diouf at West Ham as well. I mean, I don't particularly like their fixtures, but he did score well last year. Richards for Palace as well. Palace are a great defensive team, but they've only got fixtures good for 2 weeks. So it's quite a short-term transfer. And since you want to get Dorgu out as well, if you think he's not going to play, maybe he goes before before the Kuiper. I would probably do Dorgu to Gehi, or you can get Keane in as well for Everton. But again, they've got some trickier fixtures with Liverpool and Man City, and Villa as well, who might come into form. Tosin is out injured. Totti, Dallo, you could go Dallo instead of Dorgu, but I don't really think that's worth a transfer. Kilman, Van Heck, Mings, Vanderberg for Brentford. I mean, since you've got Kelleher, I probably wouldn't go there. Plus, the fixtures aren't amazing. Looking at the next 5 fixtures, these are the best teams. So you've got Tottenham, you've got Villa, you've got Man City. Unfortunately, Man City don't have any 4.5 defenders. But Villa and Tottenham are good. So Gehi sounds good. Hopefully he plays. I think there's no reason Gehi wouldn't play. So yeah, if anyone wants to load up their team next, Hamza, are you still in the chat? We can look at your team after. Just let me know if you're still there. Otherwise, let me know your team, guys. You can either share your ID or send a screenshot to me on Twitter. Thank you, mate. So yeah, these teams here: Leeds, Liverpool. Obviously, no 4.5 defenders there. Palace's fixtures, they're good for 2, but then it does get a bit tricky. But maybe De Kuiper, you just hold in. Bournemouth isn't the greatest team. Tottenham are a bit hit and miss. Chelsea, they've had a few 0-0 draw against Palace. They don't seem like scoring a lot of goals. Well, they're going against West Ham. Wolves isn't bad. So maybe hold the Kuiper. And if you think Dorgu's not playing, someone like Gehi or Richards, I think would be a good idea. Also, you asked about free hits. So this is my thing to talk about free hits. So these are the fixture windows where I've mapped out where I want to buy and sell players. Okay, so let's just see all of these. Capture these as well. So what I did was I mapped out every team and then when I want to own them and when I want to sell them. This is basically based on like the good fixtures here. And then I've got my purple FDR chart here where you can see game week 4, Liverpool have got 14 points for the next 5 game weeks. So they're purple. So that's kind of like a buy. You've got who's really good? Tottenham now. They've got 12 points, 13 points, 13 points. That's for the next 5 game weeks. So West Ham, Brighton, Wolves, Leeds, Villa is very easy. So they scored 12 in this week. So when you look here, Tottenham are a buy now. So if we change that to game week 4, you can see Tottenham are a buy. I would buy Richards. He often gets DEFCON. Exactly. Richards or Gehi often get DEFCON. They do both get DEFCON. Gehi obviously scored. Richards has a big head as well. He likes to go up for corners, set pieces. He scored a couple in pre-season. Lacroix got an assist off a header last game for me, which was obviously great. So Palace defenders, they're all quite attacking as well. I know people like Munoz, but all of them can get involved in the box. Now, if we look here, we've got the buy sell. Now, this is why I don't really like wildcard game week 8, because if you wildcard now, you're going to want to target Wolves, you're going to want to target Villa, you're going to want to target Forest, Tottenham, Liverpool, Palace, and Newcastle and Fulham, because they have the good fixtures now. But look, their good fixture runs do not last that long. And these teams, they're not like the best of teams. Okay, some of them are quite strong, but there's a few very strong teams missing here. On the contrary, if you wildcard in game week 13, so you'd be looking at something like, if we hide these columns, wildcard in game week 13, look how that looks. You're going to want to target Liverpool, Newcastle, Man City, Fulham, Bournemouth, Brentford, Villa, Chelsea, and Man U in game week 13. These are all really good teams, and they all play bad teams. And look how long their fixtures last. If you put a Liverpool player in your team in 13, you're not going to take him out until 28 because their fixtures are very nice. If you put a Newcastle player in, say Wissa, he's not coming out your team till 21. And even if he does, you're going to have options of other people to go to. Man City, same for Haaland. You're not going to want to take him out. Fulham, yeah. Bournemouth, they've got a nice 5 game. Brentford have got 5 games. Villa have got 4 games. Chelsea, Parma, João Pedro has got a nice 4 games. So if you wildcard here, especially Liverpool, Newcastle, City, I'm going to target these guys on my 13 wildcard. And I'm going to hold them for a long time. I can change about here, after Villa and Chelsea go bad, I can maybe move to Brighton. I can maybe move to Everton. Once Brentford, Bournemouth stop playing well, I can move Semenyo over to Kudos or Xavi Simons, or I can get Chris Wood back in here. Manu, I can bring Bruno back in, swap Semenyo for Bruno if I've got the funds. So 13 kind of feels like a better window to wildcard. Plus, you will then get another wildcard in case anything goes wrong in 19. Plus, don't forget in 16, you also get your AFCON transfers. So your AFCON transfers will come in 16. You get 5 transfers early. Everyone gets 5 transfers back for 16. So I'm going to bench boost in 15 because the fixtures there are very good as well. Let's just look at the 13 fixtures. So 13, you've got Man City v Leeds, Bournemouth v Sunderland, Liverpool v West Ham, Brentford v Burnley, Villa v Wolves. So those are very good. Then 14, your Bournemouth players will do well. Your Liverpool players have got Sunderland again. Boo to AFCON transfers, says James. Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? So I'm going to have my bench boost in 15 with Man City players, with Liverpool players, with Newcastle players, with Brighton players. I'll still maybe have some Brentford players v Tottenham. I'll have some Palace against Fulham, maybe Bournemouth v Chelsea. There's some cheap options in these teams, and they are good teams. So I'm going to bench boost here. And then when AFCON transfers come, 5 transfers, I'm going to take all my benched players out, sell them for cheaper ones, and restructure in 16 with my AFCON. And look, you've got more teams to target. You can get Fulham players now. You can get Chelsea against Everton. You can get Villa against West Ham. Maybe I want Watkins back in because you'll have more money to go around once the bench boost is done, basically. You'll have Newcastle against Sunderland. So all the good teams that you're going to want to get in your wildcard 13, they will have a good bench boost in 15, and you'll want them here. Then look, City will have West Ham again, then Bournemouth will have Burnley, then Palace will have Leeds, then Brighton will have Sunderland. So you're going to have a few players in some of these teams, and it's going to be really nice. So that's why I prefer this. Whereas you're saying wildcard 8. If we look at wildcard 8, you're probably going to target these teams. You're going to go Chelsea. You're going to go Arsenal. Are you really going to want to go Leeds on a wildcard? I wouldn't. Bowen. I wouldn't really want Bowen. Paqueta maybe. You're going to want Welbeck here. Probably not. They've only got one good game. Burnley, Dubravka, Esteve on your bench, but are you really going to want to rotate those in? These are kind of worse teams than the ones we just saw in 13. Hello, Tongi. Welcome in. Everton, not good. Whereas the good teams, look, City, Forest, Palace, Villa, Liverpool, they're all at the bottom. Look at all these red. So you're going to wildcard in 8, and you're not going to have any of these players. Or if you are, they're going to have hard fixtures. So that's why I don't really think wildcard 8 is a good idea. Just stick with what you've got and make some transfers to kind of like ride through it until 13. And you're really going to get a lot of points in 13 if you wildcard. I think that's my opinion. I will free hit 15. So yeah, 15. You know, these are good. So if we look at our 1 week, 1 week ones again. So you know, if you free hit in 4 this week, you know, you got Salah on 10, and then you've got 6. Let's look at free hit 15, like Hamza says. So you've got Salah on 10, you've got Haaland on 7, Isak's got an easy fixture, Murphy's got an easy fixture. Who else has got Leeds? Burnley. Who's playing Burnley? Man U. So Bruno's going to be up there. Oh, so it's Newcastle. It's Liverpool, Newcastle, and Man City. So in 15, you're going to go 3 Liverpool, 3 Newcastle, 3 Man City. And, you know, those strong teams against these weaker teams, that's going to be a lot of points up for grabs. So your free hit chip will do a lot more work in those fixtures where the better teams are playing the weaker teams. So your free hit might get you like 20 points more than or 10 points more than your normal team this week. If you use it in 15 or another week with good fixtures, you'll get a lot more points. So Tommy, at the moment I have Cuckoo, Lacroix, Neko, Virgil van Dijk, Goodmanson. I want into wildcard 7 with 5 Defcon at the back. If you've already got those players, why are you looking to wildcard? That they seem really good. So you've got Cucurella, you've got Lacroix, you've got Nico Williams, you've got Van de Ven, and you've got Goodmanson. Your team sounds great. Let's see how they're performing. Cucurella is overperforming. You've got Lacroix is overperforming. Nico Williams is underperforming. However, the fixtures are okay. You're on wildcard in 7 though. Okay. And then Goodmanson for Leeds is very, very good. 5. He's actually performing better than Williams and Van de Ven. And his fixtures are also quite good. So let's change this to a 7, game week 7. How did the fixtures look? The fixtures are still nice. Leeds fixtures from 7 are good. You won't want Goodmanson to go anywhere. Leeds, Tottenham still has Leeds. Forest, okay. Forest fixtures, Nico Williams might not go anywhere, so 5 million. Lacroix, yeah, Lacroix's fixtures do look a bit rough, but Everton might not score. Bournemouth at home isn't too bad. We'll see how Arsenal do. Brentford at home, Brighton at home. So you don't see Lacroix keeping too many clean sheets here. Maybe Everton is the most likely. And then Cucurella in game week 7. You don't want to get rid of him because Chelsea fixtures go good until 9. So you're just going to wildcard to get the same defenders. So unless your midfielders or attackers have something going wrong with them in game week 7, I'm not too sure you would want that. Just watch Walshy's video. That was really good. I really like that as well. With him going 5 at the back for Defcon points and panicking, I need to target Defcons. So these guys here are okay. So Lacroix is perfect for Defcon. Goodmanson, how is he doing? Has he had many Defcons this year? We don't have data last year. Van de Ven is more attacking. Nico Williams is more attacking. Cucurella is more attacking. So I see what you mean. You would go Tarkovsky. You would go Senesi. Lacroix, you've already got Virgil and VDB. I guess that's Van de Ven again. VDB or Vandenberg. Vandenberg, there he is. So in 7, but look at Senesi's fixtures in 7. You're not going to want Senesi with Fulham, Palace, Forest, Man City, Villa. Even though Bournemouth, that he is overperforming, and a big reason for that is because he's getting all of Huijsen's Defcon points. Yes, Hamza, I will rate your team now. So, Hamza, Bournemouth fixtures are not good. Virgil's fixtures in 7 are not good. So you're not going to want Virgil. You'd rather have Goodmanson maybe, or even Van de Ven. Cucurella you'd rather have. Even though he doesn't have much DEFCON, he'll still get those attacking returns because he's basically playing up front. And Vandenberg, their fixtures are not good too. So even though, they're getting a lot of DEFCON now, they're getting clean sheets now because their fixtures are good now. But in game week 7, I don't think you're going to want them. So I would stick with your guys here. They are going to perform well. And keep going. Let's look at Hamza's team now. So where's your chat? You put it ages ago. 1, 5. Oh. Hamza 15583. That's a nice low ID. So this is Hamza's team. Thanks much. I wish you all the best of luck, Tongi. And you guys make sure you drop a subscribe on this channel if you want to see and join more videos in the future. Let's make this a bit nicer. So Hamza, you've got Pickford, Pickford and Vicario. So you've gone 2. Have you used your bench boost already? And thank you, Tommy, for a sub. You forgot to change your cap. Etikike. Oh dear, that is a shame. Lacroix's done really well, and yes, as you said, he got robbed. Lacroix got robbed. Make sure you send your complaints to FPL website. Trippier, I quite like Trippier. That's a good clean sheet against Leeds. Obviously, Shane Murphy hasn't done well there, but Trippier clean sheet is good, and they've got another good fixture this week. That's nice. Milenkovic, obviously very disappointing. Semenyo has been amazing. Hopefully you had him from the start. Murphy, hopefully Newcastle start playing good. Shame about Sarr's injury. Maybe you should get rid of Sarr, but you can always bench him. Who else is there? You think Murphy won't start? Is that true? Oh gosh, I haven't even looked at Newcastle too much because what are they doing this year? Okay, I'm putting your team into all of my spreadsheets, and that will help you look at it. So Pickford, Vicario, Lacroix, Trippier, Milenkovic, Van de Ven, Anderson. Who are we missing? Johnson, Sarr, Gakpo. Okay, so here is your teammate. Gordon Langer, Walkmaid, Wissa, Barnes, Murphy. Yeah, they've made quite a few signings, haven't they? Langer. But Murphy was so good last year. So, what have you wildcarded this team? This team is doing incredibly well. You said you wildcarded in 3? Is that right, Hamza? I wildcarded in 3. Okay, so they're all performing very well. How are the fixtures then? So the best fixtures in your team. Let's move them to the top. Trippier. Oh, this is 7, so let's go to 4. Okay, so you've got Vicario. So you've got Spurs keeper. Look at those fixtures. That's got to go well for you the next 4 games. Van de Ven and Johnson. Change your mind on wildcard 8 to 13. I still have transfers. Yeah, your team's really good, Luigi. You know, if you have to make a wildcard, you should. If you don't, 13 is going to be very powerful. Be patient with your transfers, and the points will come. So look at this triple Spurs here because you've wildcarded. So they've got very nice fixtures. That's nice. I like them all. Johnson, I heard he dropped a stinker last game, but he seems to be the only player that can score. Free hit 6, no Haaland. I think I'm going to free hit 6 because I have no Haaland. So we can go on to that after Hamza's team. Haaland here, you do have Haaland. And yeah, their fixtures are looking on the up, especially after Man U Arsenal. You're gonna want to be on Haaland. His price is probably gonna start rising, especially if he gets a goal in one of these two games. If he blanks in these two, people are still gonna get him in for 6, but they might free hit. So yeah, Ham's a nice team. I think he's done well on his wild card, hasn't he? But can they reproduce? So you're performing well, looking backwards, but also we want to look forward at the fixtures, and these fixtures do look good. Gakpo, Etikike, they are very nice. So Burnley, Everton coming up, they're good. So Hamza, I hope you're saving your transfers for when these fixtures end, and then you can be patient. So now that you've wildcarded, you have to be patient with this team. Lacroix, good next two fixtures. Slightly overperforming as well. So Lacroix is looking great. Sarr injured. So even though Sarr's injured, and even though his two fixtures are good here, you've got so many good players. I hope you're not thinking of wasting a transfer to get Sarr out. Just use him on the bench. That's what the bench is for. I only do transfers this game for bench boost. So you're going to bench boost this week. Okay. Yeah, look at all those green fixtures. So who are you going to take out? You're going to take Milenkovic and Sarr out, or just Sarr? Yeah, bench boost. Milenkovic could keep a clean sheet against Arsenal. Trippier and Murphy, they've got good fixtures v Wolves, but then the fixtures do drop, and their fixtures aren't great. So, some ones you might want to look to bench, especially if you said Murphy's not playing. Anderson, that's Fulham's Anderson. He's got Leeds this week, but then it does kind of drop off. João Pedro, like we said, he's performing well, but is he going to see a drop now towards what he was last year with a few blanks? Because his fixtures are a bit harder. And then Pickford. Pickford at Everton is good too. So as a bench boost, Villa this week. If you wanted to see Villa keep a clean sheet, see Villa not score because your goalkeeper wants to keep a clean sheet, I think this is a decent week, even though I think Watkins might start coming back into it soon. So yeah, overall, this is really good, Hamza. If we go here and type in your team into our starting 11, let me just do it in order. There's your order. Okay, so here we see Anderson, Van der Ven, Etikike benched, but that's because Etikike didn't, and these guys didn't have much good seasons last year. So overall, your bench is looking very strong, even if it's Semenyo on the bench, Milenkovic on the bench. Sarr, you're going to want to bench. So yeah, that looks good. That does look good. Captain this game week 4 would be Haaland. Or would you captain someone else this week? Man City v Man U, that's a bit tricky, but Haaland still comes out on top. Next, you've got Johnson. Next, you've got even Lacroix against Sunderland. Maybe you captain Lacroix. If he gets Defcon and a clean sheet, that would be nice. Best replacements for Murphy and Sarr. So here we go. Jacob Murphy, 6.3 million. Says to keep him, but obviously if he's not playing, you've got Tielemans, you've got Dango. And if it's only for 1 week, you've got Joe Linton, you've got Tonali, Gravenbach maybe. Smith Rowe. Yeah, Captain and Lacroix is a bit risky. So I don't know, who would you pick out of those? Probably Tielemans maybe, or Dango's looking quite good. But if it's for 1 week, but it's not for 1 week because they're going to be in your team long term. So I'd probably go Tielemans. Don't know, Gravenbach maybe. And then Dango, yeah, it looks like Dango. And Saar is probably priced similarly. That's the wrong Saar. 6.5. You also get Szoboszlai, Ahmad, and then Saar comes in. McAllister, Murphy, and then Tielemans, and then it's kind of the same as before. You also got Rice, Bruno, Iwobi. Iwobi for Fulham against Leeds. That could be a shout. Damsgaard, not too keen. Kulusevski, is he even playing anymore? Don't think so. Caicedo, you could always go Caicedo. Kovacic, not for me. So yeah, maybe Dango. Could go Ahmad, but probably not. Very good Iwobi. Yeah, Iwobi could be a shout, but you probably would go Dango, wouldn't you? Got the better long-term points projections. Tongi says, I can put these on the screen, I forgot. Is there an update available for best DEFCON picks? I don't think I actually have that. So what we can do is look at points analysis chart. And why don't we look at who had the most DEFCONs last year? So this is how I do it. So if you're still there, Tongi, and if you're not. Okay, so we've got last season sort by CBIT points. Let's do it by CBIT points per game. So these people got the most CBIT points per game. SA, but let's ignore SA because he only played 1 game. Okay, so Tarkovsky, he got 1.33 CBIT points per game because he got 44 CBIT points. The best DEFCON defenders should be in Everton and Palace. Well, it kind of is true because Everton's here on the top. Let's also filter for players who only got more than 100 points last year because there's a few people who didn't play that many games. So 100 points. Okay. So you've got Tarkovsky, Caicedo, Anderson, Murillo, Gomez, Gana, Lacroix, Baliba, Christie, Collins. So these people got the most CBIT points. And now we've got a filter here. Something going on here. Okay, CBIT points per game. Tarkovsky, Brandt, White, Caicedo, Anderson, Murillo, Gomez, Gana, Norgard, Lacroix. So we can see who is getting overperformance or slightly underperformance this year. So that means that these people are performing about the same or slightly under than they did last year. So you've got Tarkovsky and let's just hide these to make it a bit simpler. Okay, hopefully this is easier to look at. So last year, these people got more than 100 CBIT points. And where's the sort for CBIT points per game here? So we're sorting it by CBIT points per game. Are Forest playing with a different system, Val? What's so different about their system? Let me know, because I've got a Murillo thread that I'm writing up that I want to post as well. So Tarkovsky, he got a lot of CBIT last year. He got, on average, 4.5 points per game last year. And this season, he's already performing at 5 points per game, which is really quite good. Caicedo, he got a lot last year, and he's still improving this year. So overall, he's on 5.7. Lacroix, he's way overperforming. Anderson is slightly below last year, but only slightly. So, he was on 11 DEFCON points in each game. If he got a couple more of those DEFCONs, he'd be way over this last season estimate. Collins is just about on target last year. Gravenbach is above. Killman is slightly under. McAllister. So these are reliable picks because last year they got a lot of points. They had a lot of CBIT points per game, and they're performing at that level this year. Tonali slightly under. Bruno, a couple of unlucky penalty misses there. Virgil is performing slightly better than last year, but about the same, 0.2. Burn, Rice, Bruno G, Damsgaard. You've got Gahey. Gahey is way overperforming last year because he got his goal as well. So don't expect him to get a goal every week. He'll probably drop down towards that 3.8 points per game. Hopefully that makes sense. So Ndai as well, Munoz. If we filter just for the defenders, if you're just asking for defenders, so these are players who scored more than 100 points last year, have in order of CBIT, and who are performing well this year. So these guys are kind of in form overall. Look at Cucurella. He only got 0.18 CBIT per game. So most of his returns are from goals and assists, and he's got his goals and assists this year, taking him to 6.3. So if you want CBIT players, you've got these here. So yes, next let's go to Murillo. So why is Murillo? Let's look at the underperformers. Less than or equal to 1. So Murillo is here. He got 4.7 points last year. But this year, he's only getting 1.3 points. That is very much worse than last year. Obviously, these guys on 0 have not played. So Murillo, Milinkovic, Williams, they got a lot of points last year. A lot of them came from DEFCON. And they're not getting it this year. Robinson as well, he's not doing well. Mazraoui has even played. Mikolenko, Wan-Bissaka, Hall, Konate, Aina, Kirk has gone. Now, Murillo, don't forget, Murillo has got Arsenal game week 4. Let's go back to 4. He's got Arsenal, and then he's got Burnley and Sunderland. So we're expecting nice things from Burnley, Sunderland. Even in the Arsenal, well, maybe not the Arsenal, but Newcastle-Chelsea game, you expect him to hit DEFCON there. Now, Val makes a point. Nottingham playing with high ball possession and better rest defense. They no longer playing deep block defense. Nottingham has average of 53% ball position per EPL game. But is 53 even that much? So let's share this tab. If we go on Google and we do Nottingham Forest v West Ham 2020. Let's do West Ham 2024. So in this game, the fixture last year. Sorry, what was the one this year? Was at home? It was at home. So this year, what was the stats? They had 59% possession this year. And then last year, Forest v West Ham 2025. (2024) 31st of August. That was this year. What about earlier in the season? May. Forest possession was 39%, so you're right, there was an increase. Very nice to see. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. So this year, low ball possession base teams average less than 35. Check it up. Thank you. I was going to write a thread today, and this is it. So this season, 31st of August, 58%. And last season, this is at West Ham, though. Do we have Forest? Must have been in 24. What website is the best one to check the 2024 Forest v West Ham? Sofa score. Is this the one? Match details. Match summary. Possession. Where's possession? Let's go on Sofa score. Is it very easy to find last year's games? Oh yes, this is good. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then where are the stats? What happened to my screen? Okay, hopefully you can see the screen. Statistics, is it here? Yes, 58. And before, 61. So they did, that's for West Ham. So Forest had 39. Ball possession, 56. So they did have quite a lot. What is this? This is next year's statistics. And then what's this one? Why can I not find the Forest? Forest at home here. So 47. So it's 47. No, 53. When they were at home, it was 53. So last year it was 53, and I believe Murillo only got. He actually did not get DEFCON in that game. So last year Murillo got 7 DEFCON against West Ham, and he only got 4 this year against West Ham at home. So if we do Nottingham Forest v Crystal Palace. Mm. 8/24, is this the dates? 5th of the 5th. Crystal Palace, Crystal Palace. Why is it so slow? Ball possession, 58. They had quite a lot against Palace. That's this year, though. And then the year before, they had 51. So it's only gone up slightly. But in that game, Murillo did get DEFCON. He got 15 in this game. So last year, 5th of the 5th, Murillo did get 15, and he got subbed off. Clearances 11, block shots 1, interceptions 2. So he had a lot of clearances, but maybe Palace were more attacking due to Eze, for example. Did we have Eze against Forest? No, we had Devaney. So maybe Devaney is the reason Murillo didn't have loads of CBIT. He only had, look, 3 interception, tackle 2. So CBIT. That's 6. Yeah, 6. So he only had 6. So maybe it's because of Devaney. Against West Ham, it's because they had more possession at home. And then finally, the final game was against Brentford. So let's see the Brentford stats. So what could be causing that? Well, there's no Wissa and Mbeumo. So this year is 8th and the 1st here. So maybe it's because Eze is missing, and maybe it's because Wissa and Mbeumo were missing for Brentford, so they're not going to be as attacking, are they? There you go, Wissa and Sade scored. Forest had 55% earlier this season, and now they had 54. So you can't say it was possession. Brentford, Palace, Nottingham Forest, and Everton all averaged below 40% ball possession in EPL last season. Look at Crystal Palace this season; they're hitting DEFCON. They are hitting DEFCON, but is DEFCON more to do with the other team? I'm wondering. Or the stats where, last season, Forest would give the opponent the ball more. Whereas this season, as you see in West Ham, they do kind of keep the ball. You guys have not seen all the times I've switched to, have you? So here we've got this one. Crystal Palace v Forest. Ball possession, 58%, as you said. And then earlier on in the year, Crystal Palace v Forest, last season, 51. And in this game, Murillo had considerably more than he had this year. He had 15 in this match against Palace, but they did have Eze, and Eze was a star man who got a penalty. And then finally, Brentford. Brentford this year, Forest had 54%, and then Brentford earlier last year was 55%. So that's the same. But what is the difference? Well, Wissa and Mbeumo Sade, now they don't have as much threat. So maybe Brentford didn't have as much, attack to give those C bits to Murillo. So this is something to consider. I'm going to put up a tweet about this because I've written half the tweets and I just wanted to research this possession before I sent it. So this is actually exactly what I was looking for. Thank you, Val, for that. Good observations on what's going wrong with Murillo. Okay, I think that will be the end of the stream. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you drop a subscribe if you haven't so you can catch the next stream. And keep an eye out on the Twitter for this Murillo thread. So yeah, see you all next time, and good luck for the rest of the season. Bye bye.